The village of Xiaoshan had always been enveloped in whispers and shadows whenever night fell. For generations, the Wu family lived on the outskirts, their ancestral home perched near the edge of the dense forest, a place known for its eerie quietness. It was supposed to be a night of mourning, but it quickly turned into an unimaginable nightmare. Ancestor Wu Fen had passed away peacefully, and the family gathered to pay their respects. As tradition dictated, incense burned, and paper money floated in the air like ethereal butterflies. But there was a sense of unease that everyone felt but couldn't articulate. The old wooden clock struck midnight, and an air of eerie foreboding settled over them. May, the youngest daughter, heard a faint rustling sound from the ancestor's room. Probably just the wind, she thought. But curiosity gnawed at her. She tiptoed to the room, every creak of the floor amplifying her heartbeat. Pushing open the door, her eyes widened in terror. There stood Wu Fen, no longer a peaceful elder in his death slumber, but a Jiangshi, the dreaded hopping vampire of Chinese legend. Wu Fen's corpse was rigid, his limbs locked in place except for the subtle quivering that signaled his intent to jump. His eyes glowed a sickly green, and his nails had grown into sharp, deadly claws. A sense of dread overtook May, yet she couldn't scream. Wu Fen let out an unearthly growl and started toward her in a series of chilling, hop-like bounds. "Close the doors! Barricade it with everything!" May finally shrieked, rushing back to the main hall where the rest of the family had gathered. Panic ensued. Old Uncle Li, who remembered tales of such creatures from his childhood, urged them all to act quickly. "We must stop it from spreading its curse," he shouted. The family gathered every item believed to ward off evil: mirrors, wooden stakes, red thread, and bags of glutinous rice. They placed them around the house, creating a makeshift barrier to trap the Jiangshi inside. But Wu Fen was no ordinary Jiangshi. He was driven by a potent force, vengeance for being forgotten. The family fought valiantly, but despair began to sink in as the Jiangshi grew stronger. His hops becoming more forceful and his glowing eyes more intense. In a final desperate move, old Uncle Li remembered a sacred incantation, one that had the power to quell the restless dead. Gathering the family in a circle, they recited the prayer in unison, their voices trembling yet resolute. The air thickened, and suddenly, Wu Fen was yanked back into his room by an invisible force, his monstrous form collapsing like a puppet with severed strings. Slowly, the green glow faded from his eyes. Morning arrived, washing away the terror of the night. The family looked at each other, eyes filled with exhaustion and relief. They knew their lives were forever altered, but at least the curse had been contained. The Wu family would never forget the night their ancestor became a Jiangshi, nor the lesson that respect for the past is a safeguard for the future.